Hello YouTube, my name's Will, that's Enzo, and today we are going to be talking about the Evo once again. Specifically, we're going to focus on the rear of the car. You'll notice that I don't have a wing. This is an RS. If you're not familiar with the RS, it was the lightweight version. In most markets, it does have a wing. I think the US is the only market where it didn't have a wing. Before we get too far into today's video, I did have to put some sunglasses on. It's super bright out right now. That if you want to contact me with any questions or anything, there are Instagram links below. Those are going to be the best. After that, there's a Facebook group that I've created if anybody's interested in. You can obviously direct message me through YouTube. Nobody ever does that though. I don't have an email address for this type of stuff. If it becomes a necessary thing, I can do it. I think Instagram's working okay right now. I'm not getting that many messages, so right now I'm just sticking with that. If you guys do have Instagram, be sure to follow me. It's just at Will8050, or tag me in any photos. I know a couple people have told me that they've recently bought Evo, so definitely tag me in those. I'd love to see them. Mine actually, unfortunately, had a wing. I think the dealer or somebody maybe installed one. When I had my JDM rear put on, I did have this professionally covered up. You have no way of telling that those are there, which is how it should have been from the factory. I had a question about whether or not I could tell a difference with the Vortex generators, and the answer to that is no, because I don't have a wing. Thing about that though, it got me thinking is, can you tell a difference when you have a wing versus not having a wing? Now this Evo never had the proper wing. It just had the little like Lancer wing, which made it even more annoying, which is why I took it off literally the second day I owned it, first day I spent driving back from Atlanta. So while I can't speak on whether or not the Vortex generator would make a difference with the wing, any noticeable difference, my inclination is you probably wouldn't really notice it unless you were like a hardcore track person, to the point where every second is making a difference. What I can speak on though is when I had my Evo IX. So my Evo IX was a GSR, it had the wing, and I kept the wing on for about the first 25,000 miles. During that time, I had roughly $1,000 in speeding tickets. I had $1,000 in a lawyer fee. I had about $800 in court costs. So I decided to get rid of the wing. The wing was just drawing way too much attention, and while it's impossible to really do a true like A/B test with the wing, what I can say is I took the wing off, and in the year following not having the wing, I went from all those other tickets and court costs to nothing. Not a single ticket for anything. So, did my driving habits become perfect overnight? As much as my mom would hope so, probably not. They didn't. A lot of that attention was the wing. I even had a cop kind of slip and allude to the fact that he pulled me over because of the wing. I still remember that night, buddy came over. I didn't have like a YouTube video to watch on how to take the wing off. I was just like, well, it looks like it unbolts under here, so I'm gonna take it off. And that's what we did. If you have an Evo 9 or 8 that has the wing, you can look under your trunk and see this, but I believe there's one spot right around here, and you can kind of see the one place you can still kind of tell that I had the wing is here. I didn't worry about making that perfect. And then I think the other screw is under there. Or there may only be one screw, I can't remember. And then there's a super strong piece of double-sided tape. And that's basically what's holding the wing on. Now, as any normal person would do, the moment I got that wing off, immediately went for a drive to see if I could tell a difference. Seeing how this was well past the statute of limitations, and most likely in Mexico, we went up to about, I don't know, 130, 140, something like that. And again, it's not scientific, but my mind wanted to believe there was maybe a slight difference. Over time, driving the car more, and then eventually I put the wing back on for some time, and then having this car, I feel like if you could do a blind test, you might be able to tell, maybe, depending on the circumstances. Most people, in most scenarios though, you're not going to notice any difference. And even if you did notice that difference, we're talking at well in the triple digit speeds. That being said, if you are tracking the car, that may be totally different. You might be able to tell a difference at 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't track them. So that would be interesting to know. But from a day-to-day driving basis, you're not going to notice any real difference. you are going to notice that you can see out your back window, and you probably will see a decrease in attention, which is nice. That said, if you like it with the wing on or wing off, go with what you like. It's not going to make any real difference. If anybody is driven with the Vortex generators on and off, I'd be curious to know if you actually could tell a difference. My guess is that you can't really, again, unless maybe you track it. I know Mitsubishi or somebody back in the day showed like some wind tunnels of how the Vortex generators would diffuse the air and everything. I just like them because they look cool, I'll be completely honest. So that pretty much sums up whether or not the wing's making a difference. In my opinion, for 99.9% of the people out there, it is not making any difference whatsoever. If you happen to be that 0.1%, definitely let me know. I'd be curious to see what differences you're noticing, especially if you've got any track data or anything to back it up. That would be cool. If you've done any like A/B testing on the same day, that would be kind of cool. Other than that, if you have a wing and you want to try taking it off, it's not hard. Just know that when you go to put it back on, you're going to need some good double-sided tape that you can buy like AutoZone, the 3M type. It's expensive. It's going to run you like 15 bucks for a roll. But this stuff is super strong. I always keep it on hand just for even projects around the house. It's just super helpful. I know, buddy, it's hot. We're almost done. If you are in this area and you're in the cars, have an Evo or anything like that, you know, I'm always looking for more people to get together with. Enzo and I do a lot of cars and coffee. We won't be at Cars and Coffee this weekend. We are going to Nashville to visit some friends. All right, I think that's going to do it for this short little Evo video. If you've got any questions about the Evo, about myself, about Enzo, definitely comment below, or message me. Like I said, tag me on Instagram at Will8050. Like the videos if that's your thing. Subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching the videos, and I think Enzo and I are going to get back inside where it's nice and cool. Right, buddy? Right? Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.